Have you heard of the 7 deadly sins? Are you maybe living by the 7 deadly sins? Today I want to talk about these sins and how they apply in business and how they hinder us and our improvement in life and in business. Because if we look at the deadly sins, and if we also look at the average person, right, that is not successful and that is not really happy with life, with his life or her life, then the likelihood is very big that he or she is living by those 7 deadly sins, and avoiding those sins might help improving. My name is Dennis and I'm building my business in sales right now because the goal is to travel the world and to live free. Right now we are in Cyprus, in Europe again, and here on YouTube the goal is to document everything, like the whole journey, the upsides, the downsides, everything in between. So if this sounds interesting, consider subscribing, and now let's continue with the video. So a quick reminder, what are the 7 deadly sins again? We have pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. Often the thing is that we are unaware that those things are the 7 deadly sins. I think many people have never heard about those sins. I haven't heard about them until like a few weeks ago, until one of my mentors told me about them, and it might make sense to be aware and not act according to those sins and avoid those sins. So the first thing is pride, and pride has 2 components. So the first thing is pride into one's ideas, the business strategy, etc., like the project itself, and the other thing is pride into one's skills, right? In my own skills, for example, that would be super prideful. So the first point could be, okay, like an overconfident confidence. For example, I'm the market leader, right? We're the market leader. This means, okay, we're the best. We're making everything perfect. We're not looking at the competitors anymore, right? We're neglecting them. We're not looking at like market changes. We're neglecting customer feedback that might give us negative feedback, which say, okay, no, they're just bad customers. They don't understand. We think, okay, our way is the best way, and every like external feedback that is usually valuable for entrepreneurs, we start to neglect them because we have developed a certain pride into our skill, in our project. The second thing is pride into one's skills, right? Because what often happens is when people have like some sort of results, they often believe and they start to believe, okay, with this skill, I'm already the best, right? I reached 100%. There's nothing more I can learn here. I'm the best. That's what they often tell what you hear, especially for example in sales, because my business is sales, so I know there are many people who say, okay, I'm the best closer ever, I close everything that is closable. This is dangerous, and this is also like a bad trait, because what happens if we tell ourselves, okay, we already reached the top, we reached 100%. Okay, how much room for improvement is there if we're already 100%? If there's no room for improvement, so why should we try? Those people, they stop learning, they stop improving because they tell themselves, okay, there's no room for improvement anymore. Subconsciously, they tell this to themselves because they communicate, okay, I'm already the best. So there's no room for improvement, so they don't even try to improve, and this is why they stagnate. And it's very well known that those people that reach like excellent levels, like the highest of the highest levels, the biggest success, are called like constant learners. They always say, okay, I know nothing, I'm a blank piece of paper, and there's always new things that I can learn. And often those are the people that say, okay, the more I learn, the more I realize that I know nothing. All right, the next sin would be greed, right? And how could this be reflected in business? So this could, for example, be an excessive focus on profits while we neglect, for example, the ethics, while we neglect, for example, treating our staff well, while we neglect treating our customers well and making them happy, making them satisfied. Because if we want to focus on profit, then this can happen. Okay, let's pay our staff as little as possible. Or for example, with customers, right? What many people do in their business is they sell a product, but they leave like certain things out, so the customer at some point has to buy the upsell. So if this is the thought that you have from the beginning, why don't give them everything at the beginning that they need to really have success, and then, for example, once they're happy, then ask for the upsell, right? And offer something else, bring them to the next level. But from having the thought of, okay, let me leave this out, or let me leave other stuff out, so they have to buy more, is like a very negative, it's a taking energy, and it's also greedy, because what you have in mind, you don't have in mind the success of the customer, but what you have in mind is the money, the profit, the upsell and making even more profit, aka greed. And I think this can be summarized very good, like this point of greed, by saying that greed is prioritizing short-term gains and not prioritizing long-term thinking and long-term gains. There's a Harvard study, I don't know exactly the Harvard study, but I read it in the book Eat That Frog from Brian Tracy, and that says, and it states that long-term thinking is one of the single most important indicators for success, right? For people who are successful, one of their traits is that they always think long-term. So the next point would be lust, right? And lust can be described as a strong desire for something, which is not only meant in a sexual way, but also in a way of desire for money and power. And everybody who is a bit well versed with the laws of the universe, he or she knows that everything that we strongly desire, we at the same time push away. Things that we strongly desire, okay, I need this, I want this, I need this in my life, is unlikely to come into our lives, right? It is the things that we don't desire, that we imagine or believe that they're already there and already ours, and already that we deserve those things, that come into our lives. But this would be a topic for another video. So the biggest downside of having lust or having strong desire is that we make irrational decisions towards short-term gains. And this often manifests in the form of not having focus. That we see business opportunities everywhere and we want to do everything at the same time. We have no focus, here a bit, and we do everything at the same time. And because of that, nothing really works out, because we never give our A game, we never give our best and 100%, but everywhere is our C game, D game, everything a bit on the side. And yeah, nothing really works. And you see this a lot in young entrepreneurs that have no success. And this is also called the shiny object syndrome, that the grass is greener everywhere and we want to try everything and we see the quick money everywhere. This is what I learned from Warren Buffett, and he says, I'm not sure only entrepreneurs, but in general successful people, he says 99 no's for every yes. So we have to say no to 99% of the people, no to 99% of the opportunities that come to us for every one yes that we give. The next sin would be envy, right? And where does envy come from? It comes from, of course, it comes from a negative place. It comes from he has more than I have, and it's from a place when we are comparing ourselves with other people. I think online you see many people who, let's say, give advice about, okay, compare yourself with other people, or do not compare yourself with other people. I have a very certain opinion on that, and I would say, okay, it depends, right? If you compare yourself with other people and then you envy them, you say, okay, and you're always negative, okay, why do they have more? Okay, poor me. In this case, it makes absolutely no sense to compare ourselves with other people. But on the other hand, if we are in general a positive person who is happy for other people that they have success, and if comparing ourselves inspires us, motivates us, and say, okay, great, this person has achieved it, I can do this too. Of course, then compare yourself, that is something great, but then it doesn't come from a place of envy, it comes from a positive place. So instead of viewing it as a negative that somebody has achieved so much more, we should do the opposite. I don't want to tell you anything what to do, but I would advise you at least, and this is what I'm doing. View this as the opposite, right? View it as something great. This person is so young and he has achieved so much, look at what is possible. And what one man can do, another man can do. I'm just flesh and blood, just like him, right? I'm the same as him. So if he has achieved it, this means I can achieve it too. Great, let me do the same. Let me do the same that he has done, because it's also possible for me. All right, the next sin, gluttony. In the business context, this would be, for example, an overconsumption of resources and living very wastefully. So what most people do, and I've seen this in many people, and maybe you as well, maybe you can confirm this, that as soon as people make money, what is the first thing that they do? They start spending. They think, okay, now I'm a millionaire, now I made it. Maybe not a millionaire, but I made it by now, and it will continue like this. And now I deserve to live like a millionaire. All those years of hustle, all those years of sweat and tears and blood that I put in there, of debt, of hustle, now I really deserve to be able to live like a millionaire. But they don't realize this hard period was part of the process. It's normal that everybody went through this, but they're not at the end point, at the finish line, right? They just have a long way to go because they have no idea what will come in the future, whether they will continue with their success. So what you will often see with those people, and I really hope that you will not make this mistake, is that those people will have at some point cash flow problems because they spend everything, they don't put enough aside for the taxes, they maybe not put enough aside for, depends on the business that they have, but to read or order more products that they can sell again. They don't put enough aside for the fixed cost that they have every month, and then they don't know how to pay this. And then they are struggling because, okay, now they need to earn money, right? They're in a need again, in a desire for more money. They might have to do short-term and stupid business decisions just because they need the quick money. This is why I would advise to avoid gluttony, right? And have like a bank account system, right? With several sub-bank accounts, and put very wisely and smartly your money aside into several bank accounts. One bank account for taxes, one bank account for all the fixed costs, one for the staff that you have, some for the monthly investments that you want to do, right? The money that also goes out on a monthly basis. One bank account for one private bank account where you pay yourself some money that you need to live. This is, for example, my strategy. You have, or how I want to go about it. Maybe you can do your own thing. But the important thing is that we are not led by gluttony. Sin number 6, wrath. When you would think about like this, let's say a local entrepreneur, right? Or maybe your boss. What do you think about? You think about a person who's like often angry, like the smallest thing that happens that's negative maybe for the business, they freak out and they treat their staff badly, right? They're treated poorly, they yell at them, maybe your boss yells at you with the slightest mistakes that cost them some money. Those people are living by this 6th sin. But if you're looking at the highest of the highest, like the highest level entrepreneurs, like the high performers, they are usually very, very calm because they have mastered their emotions, right? They know how to control and how to master their emotions. Those people have not only worked on the business skills or on their business, like those local entrepreneurs from our example did, but also on themselves. And they learned how to master their emotional state. And they learned that they are not the emotions, but that they have emotions, but they never run by the emotions, so they can make rational decisions and never emotional decisions. Because what often happens when we are angry, we do things, we say things that we never would have done if we would have been rational. The best decisions that we make is that we do when we are emotionally very calm. This is why it's so important to not only work on our business, but also work on ourselves. Because in my opinion, this is the only way how we can truly become a high performer. And I want to make you an example why this is true, right? If we worked on ourselves and our, for example, also our self-esteem, because this is part of our inner work, right? Then we will not have those problems and those freakouts. Because often when we have super high self-esteem, we also have a trust in ourselves. We have a belief in ourselves and our capabilities. We know what we can do and we know what we can't do. But often there's a trust in ourselves. But for example, people like who are employees, it's very significant that they have low self-esteem. And if you work on yourself and you have a high self-esteem, it is more likely that you will not freak out with little things because you know, okay, there might be a setback, but I trust so much in myself, I know next month I will crush it again. This is also what my mentor told me at some point. Our level of self-esteem will always equals our level of success. Alright, and the last sin that we shouldn't be seduced by is sloth. Because what often or sometimes could happen, right, if we reach some level of success, that we are seduced by laziness, right? We say, okay, I've already achieved so much, right? I'm already financially free. Why even work more, right? Why not lean back? Why not enjoy life a bit? And to some degree, of course, you can do that. From an entrepreneurial standpoint, for the business itself, of course, it's not the smartest idea because we say, okay, we're market leaders anyway. We're number one. It goes also hand in hand a bit with pride, right? We're number one already, right? Let's lean back a bit. This is why, to some degree, I believe that it's bad to be born or it can be bad to be born into a rich family, right? Because we're also at the same level where we are born with some degree of comfort. Our life is set up. I already have enough money. I never have to work again for the rest of my life because my father's rich. Where's then the drive, right? Where's the drive to build something? Where's the pain? Because pain often motivates, right? Where's the pain to build something new? Where's the pain to get out of that situation? And where's, at the other hand, the benefit of achieving something? Because if you achieve it or if you don't achieve it, doesn't change anything, right? You can still afford the holiday somewhere else in Cyprus, or the holiday or the bottles in the club, right? You can still afford it. You can still afford the Rolex because your father gives you the money, right? So what is the benefit of putting all in the work and the hustle and the sweat? But if you don't have that, if you would have to work a bullshit job, maybe if you don't achieve that, your mother or your father will not have enough food to eat because their pension is not enough. Everything gets more expensive and you know, okay, maybe they will not have enough food to eat. Then you have a driver, then you have something that pushes you to really continue and to never become lazy. Alright, thanks for watching. Today the video was a little bit different. It went more into the business direction, but I hope it was useful and interesting also, because I truly believe, okay, those things that, for example, the Bible teaches or that spiritual teachers teach might be more useful also for business and in general than we might think, right? At the beginning, I really neglected those things like religion teach, what the spirituality teaches, but I more and more realized once I worked with mentors that all the super successful people, they are living and they know those rules. This is why I wanted to share them here. Alright, so I hope you will use this and it will help you a lot, because at least I can tell you that it helped me a lot. It's always like the goal here that I have with this channel is to build like a community of like-minded people who are also maybe not from this rich family maybe that I described, that are not like born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but they want to achieve something with their life, but they have maybe no guidance. I was in this position and I'm still, of course, only on my journey, but I want to document my journey here on this channel to, yes, build this community of like-minded people who want to become better, who want to improve, who want more out of life. Yes, and if I can inspire one or two people, this would be cool. So yeah, if this is interesting, consider subscribing, and then we see each other in the next video. Thanks for watching. Take some action.